The T.Flight Hotas One is an officially licensed joystick for Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S, which has definitely raised more interest among the Xbox community since the launch of Microsoft Flight Simulator on Xbox Series X and S. The T.Flight Hotas One is also compatible with Windows machines, although this review will focus on the design and practicality for use on the Xbox consoles. Is this the perfect accompaniment for journeys across the skies? There is nothing quite like playing a video game the way that developers would want players to experience their masterpiece, one which can definitely be improved by the control input. Modern day controllers have a lot of technology residing in them, from haptic feedback and gyro sensors, but will always struggle to replicate the feeling of a steering wheel or a flight stick. Thrustmaster are no strangers to this quandary. Their long-term expertise has helped craft some of the best flight sticks seen in the industry, with a large portfolio of accessories and peripherals for the last 30 years. Right out of the box, the T.Flight Hotas One oozes in build quality, feeling sturdy, rigid and solid. The device comes in two parts, the joystick and a throttle, which can be used disconnected from one another or joined together by the supplied Allen key. The unit has a 2.5 meter USB cable which can be easily plugged into one of the many USB ports on the Xbox Series. No installation required, just plug and play. Pieced together, the flight stick and throttle is well weighted and can be placed on a desk, or alternatively, it can be surprisingly comfortable to rest it on your lap. The flight stick itself is incredibly well built, offering multiple levels of resistance which can be adjusted from the underside of the unit. Control the pitch and roll by moving the joystick back and forth or side to side respectively, and twist the rudder for the yaw. Immediately upon handling the joystick it feels natural. The twist for the yaw feels incredibly satisfying, offering that level of resistance that makes it feel like an incredibly authentic experience. There are 4 buttons on the joystick itself, featuring a rapid fire trigger and a multi-directional hat switch. The only non-intuitive button during the playthroughs was the B1 button, which is placed at the top end of the back of the joystick. When the action got hot in games, like Star Wars Squadrons, it was difficult to locate or react fast enough to this button. Although this may be due to a personal issue, left-handedness. Hand precarities aside, the base of the joystick features a sizable handrest, ergonomically designed to help increase the comfort for longer play sessions. Aside from the joystick, the throttle is the main other focus point, with 8 buttons and a throttle mechanism. The throttle goes back and forth, as any throttle would, but offers very little resistance, which is a little bit of a shame considering the resistance offerings on the joystick. There are 4 buttons on the front, replicating the A, B, X, Y buttons from the Xbox controller, albeit in a peculiar layout. The Y button is offset from the rest. It's easy enough to rest a thumb on the A button and then easily maneuver it to the X or B buttons, but the Y button is far less easy to reach. In one way, it has been understandably placed away from the 3 other buttons to avoid being accidentally pressed in the palm of the left hand, but is also quite difficult to reach in the position it is in. The buttons and the paddle on the back are easy enough to reach, although as with all new controllers, it can be hard to know which button is which, even more so when they're out of sight during gameplay. After getting familiar with the game of choice, these buttons do become second nature to play with though. The T.Flight Hotas One is an entry-level flight stick, but it offers great quality for the price point. Unfortunately, there aren't that many games that flight sticks are compatible with, so purchasing a flight stick has to be more of a concerted choice. Although the chances are that anyone watching this review most likely would have already made that decision. Aside from the aforementioned Microsoft Flight Simulator and Star Wars Squadrons, the most notable titles are Ace Combat 6, Fires of Liberation, Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown, and Elite Dangerous. Each of them great games in their own right, although there is a more complete list on the Thrustmaster support site. For a complete experience, the T.Flight Hotas One has a port available for an add-on rudder system, which would aptly control the rudder and the brakes with your feet, just like in a real aircraft. Hone your piloting skills by utilising the Thrustmaster T.Flight Hotas One. The intuitiveness of a flight stick makes any game feel much better. Many will be wanting to use it in Microsoft Flight Simulator now that it has been added to Game Pass Ultimate, but a real winner would be to use it in Star Wars Squadrons, where the unit really shines, and it's also in Game Pass. The T.Flight Hotas One, despite being on the more entry-level front, is incredibly well built, sturdy and easy to use. The lack of resistance in the throttle is a tiny bit disappointing, but the joystick quality does help alleviate that issue. This is the perfect starter product to take to the skies for any budding pilot. Thank you for watching this review on the Thrustmaster T.Flight Hotas One. If you've enjoyed it, then click that subscribe button, click and ring the bell, get notified, follow us on social media, and go to cubed3.com for more reviews, news, and gaming experiences. Take care.